Hello and welcome back to another short video. Yesterday we uploaded this 9 floor level high castle, and when we entered this exterior garden of the castle, I said that we would do it first and then show the dungeon, and then we forgot to show the dungeon. So yeah, here we are again to show the dungeon. A dungeon which was mostly designed by Vivyenn. If you have any special words for it, please lead the way.
No, this dungeon is a little bit different than what most people probably expect.
Is it really?
But it's a little bit, yeah, probably. It's a little bit like Amnesia, the Dark Descent, oder Amnesia, whatever the accent demands.
Why are you going this way? Oh, okay. The absolute ground floor. Okay. Let's go.
I like this with the spooky ghost secretary. This is always a nice touch.
Yeah. I think I have not told the viewer about this because I cut it out the first time. This is not an NPC, this is an enemy type, an undead, a Banshee in the English client. You can create her with a grave if you have the right ingredients. She is always hostile to the player and always hostile to other thralls. The only reason she is not attacking us is because I have barred her in with this wall of furniture here with these tables.
You place the furniture in a way that she cannot reach us.
Yeah, she is the undead secretary here that is taking care of all the paperwork for the people in the dungeon below. This is the lore behind her. I like it to have special thralls like her.
Yeah, Dribula, but if someone would jump into this little enclosed space, like for example with the wolf form, she would immediately attack that person.
Yeah. She's not a thrall, but I like to have a spooky ghost thrall in that sense. Just for the ambience. Then let's go.
Oh, dungeon. Yep. Explaining again? Yes. No?
Yeah. Do you want to explain or should I?
Yeah. These chests here, these are for if you must quickly strip someone of, for example, shoes with shoelaces, or if you pull down someone's pants or long sleeves so people cannot strangle themselves. I heard that the police actually do this in the United States with people who are unstable and throw a hissy fit like, oh no, I'm not sitting in a cell for a few hours or a day. I rather kill myself. And
yeah.
So people cannot do that. For example, you can try to use a belt to strangle yourself, and then.
Or you can try to stab yourself with a pen in the eye and shit. If you have the nerve fit.
That too. And if you have something on your body, be it items, clothes, whatever you could use to harm yourself, you get stripped of them and they get stored here in these chests.
Yeah.
The smith first or the dungeon?
Let's go the forge first. But there's not much to explain here. I do it quickly. Vivyenn wanted to have a forge area for the castle, and yeah, maybe every castle needs it. This is just... What?
Yeah. This looks cool when you put them together.
These are 4 ancestral forges put together. Yeah. And a better, whatever this is called in English, smelting? Something to smelt stuff in the enhanced station. Man, it's so big. It's looking nice, but yeah, do we really need it? This is a medieval fantasy.
Furnace or smelter, melter, whatever.
Yeah. Oh man, I can see the NPCs out there. First person camera mod, you absolutely need it. You cannot play V-Rising without it anymore. It's looking so good. You can see NPCs walking out there.
I can see them too.
Yeah, barely, probably. Okay, this is a 3D printer here.
Originally named in the game Coin Press, I think, but yeah.
Fabricator.
It's a 3D printer, actually.
This station is called a fabricator, officially.
Steampunk. Actually, so many things since Gloomrod are steampunk.
Yeah, this is the castle's smithery, so to say, and now we get to the good part. Finally, we got all the boring stuff out of the way. Do you want to explain everything, or should I?
You do.
Okay. This is once more a dungeon. This here is a guard station right at the entry and exit. The only way to get here is of course through this room, which is very closed off. Only guards can open it. This is the lore behind it. There are powerful thralls walking around here. These are their belongings. Or maybe these are their belongings. I cannot see it right now because of the deactivated hut. This is also where people get stripped of whatever else they might have still hid in their clothes. Yeah. And back over there is a laboratory part. Let's go to the original dungeon part first.
Yeah. The corridor and Way of the Damned is complete this time.
Yeah. This is where most of the prisoners are held. I wanted the entire ground floor level here to be just one giant dungeon, but final modification was not so easy. We could not make this many cages, so well, maybe we could have still made double as much, but this also looks very nice already, with different human NPCs from all over the rising areas.
This is a little bit like if the dungeon from Amnesia the Dark Descent would be more lively with more prisoners.
Yeah. I think this guy is Silverlight. This babe here is also from Silverlight. This guy is from Gloomrod, yeah. She is from Dunley. Silverlight. The closest of Silverlight NPCs are not dirty and not torn most of the time.
A moment's respite.
Yeah. Just rest if you need to. Yeah, different types of NPCs. I try to make it a little bit different every time.
This corner here with the light is a little bit the VIP corner.
VIP?
A little bit, like, yeah, these people are the same prisoners like everywhere else, but if you, for some reason, whatever, for example, turning them into thralls, have a little bit more interest into them than the other prisoners, then you can put them into this corner. You don't need to shove them down the claustrophobic corridor.
Yeah.
Will you explain the guards?
The more claustrophobic corridors are to just emphasize the hopelessness of their situation a little bit, and this is a little bit more free. This is if you are a proper behaving jailed person, then you get these cages for the day.
You want to explain these guys?
This here is a powerful vampire for intimidation and control purposes. And this is just a disciplinator to torture people more so that they do not have permanent scars. This is more like the professional pain inflictor guy. And if he alone gets overpowered, she comes to his aid. And yeah, to keep order. Why am I even explaining it in that much detail? People can figure that out by themselves. And now you explain the rest, because all of this was your idea. Why am even I speaking?
Oh, I like to fill the ground with these racks for carpets, because I think it nicely fits the atmosphere. This is only for style, and will you explain the gates, Stripula? These here? Oh.
Yeah, I made gates here instead of walls, because then it's a little bit thinner, as you can see here. And you have a better aesthetic if you go here. This is pretty much all. This is not to shorten the paths. I would have made these into stone walls, but the stone walls are so thick, and then it's getting a little bit too claustrophobic.
They're a bit too broad.
Yeah. Do you want to explain why there are a lot of undead here?
Yeah, the undead that everyone can see here are the many remains of either the unworthy, the disposed of, or people used in experiments. And whatever was left for them was thrown into this room, yeah, as undead soulless remains. either to be a deterrent of what happens if prisoners do not behave, or if people just have, yeah, what is it when you are living longer than your use or so? What is it called?
Outliving your use.
Outliving your use, yes. Then it could be that this happens to you. Because these can be still used as a small army. If, for example, a raid of people, soldiers, militia, comes down the street and wants to attack the castle, then you can let these hordes loose on them. Unfortunately, this feature is not in the game, but it should be.
And these would also always attack the proper thralls. These are just hostile undead who are never truly tamed or controlled.
Indeed.
Like this guy, for example. He's different. He's not attacking us, even though there's nothing between us and him. He's a proper thrall. He needs a servant coffin, and then you can get him if you recruit him with brainwashing. And here are special type of guards to reinforce that no prisoner escapes.
I got blocked by one of the guards. He's not respecting my authority.
And this guy that you can hear, this tiny guy with the scythe, he is a new, more human type NPC from Mortium. Just like this vampire chick here. From the new full release version.
This is my favorite section. These prisoners, I mean, every single prisoner here is a placeholder. No one is a 100% fine blood group. This is where people come in who are like, for example, you have 5 guys or whatever who have a blood type rogue or warrior or barbarian or scholar or whatever. No? And you think, I don't need 5 people who have warrior or rogue or whatever to have the blood merlots as the elixirs, so you have the highest blood group. No. You can put them in a cage here in this experimental section, and if you want to have 100% mutant blood, you can just turn them into mutants, kill them and suck them dry.
Yeah.
So to say, living merlots of blood group E, compound E, just kidding.
But I do not necessarily like it if they have this high quality blood cloud around themselves. I think it looks stupid. I wish I could deactivate the effect.
Yeah, when they're in the cage, no? It's nice to find them in the open world, but you don't need it anymore if you have already caged them.
And this is a female type Mortium Thrall.
There's something like cultists, I think this is what they are designated. Cultists.
And
But
here people turned into experiments or something. Do you want to explain the lore?
Oh, there's not that much to explain. This here is supposed to be from Gloomrod. This is like, we have one conserved mutated person, but it's not a living mutant that tries to kill everything that comes close. And with the changed DNA and stuff and blood and whatever, we experiment on these people, maybe make a few bioweapons, biosoldiers, whatever you could call it. And the lore is usually they die and they get exploited, butchered in, outside, salvaged, whatever you can name it. This little shelf here is like 1 DNA. This here is used, and if you have used any body part, this is a part of freaks.
Recycled freaks.
Yeah, recycled freaks is a very good naming. You should use another shelf where the skulls are inside, but whatever, we can do that later. And we drain everything, we use their blood. This is the advanced blood press.
Yeah, the advanced blood press.
Yeah, if people die and for some sick and twisted reasons you want to skin them, you can do this here on the leather workstation. You can, if you need to do this, you can boil some parts of them to use them here, for example. Here's still a skull and bones in there. You can, for whatever the reason, take one of their legs if you want to stitch a Frankenstein monster together or an arm. And the lore is these bars, which are a little bit thinner, which are not as sturdy as the thicker ones. The lore is you can open these ones, throw the remains if they are already undead or not inside. And, well, you can see what's on the other side. This is what is left of the people who are of no longer use. They might get used as undead, soulless cannon fodder against whoever comes against your castle.
Yeah, and this concludes the dungeon. This is the alchemy section of the dungeon where people get turned into living corpses after they outlived their youth.
Look at this, Dribula. I have no idea if this was here in the past already, but the alchemy table in the glasses, was this ever there before the final update, the 1.0 update of the game? Like with the little devil?
Yeah, this was always here.
Really?
Yeah, it was always here.
I never noticed.
That creepy alchemy table.
Yeah. I think it would be very cool if you could have from the 9 alignments in Dungeons and Dragons from lawfully good to chaotic evil, different castle aesthetics. Like, you have a castle, oh, there lives basically a saint, a paragon who protects humanity, and then you have castles like, oh man, this person who owns that castle is so fucking evil. This person lives only to bring torture and harm over the world. So everything in between, from absolutely good to absolutely evil. I would like to have aesthetics of all kinds.
Yeah. And this pretty much concludes the dungeon. I hope you liked it.
It is my
Any
honor.
last words?
Oh, not really.
Yeah. Oh, I cannot turn around after a certain distance or proximity. Okay. With that said, get yourself your undead secretary, and maybe I build a better dungeon next. I'm not really satisfied. I want a big dungeon that is very uncomplicated, only prison cells, no labs or something, only despair.
I'll have a seat.
Yeah, until next time.